Good morning, fish people. I'm Alan Nosh from Fish on TV. It is Wednesday, the 14th of July, and I'm on my way to the Glebe for the second round of the UK Championships. So I'm really looking forward to that. Cannot wait. If you remember last time at Hallcroft, I thought I came 6th. It might have been 7th in section. It's not a good start. You need to be in the top 3 to sort of have a chance of ever being in the top 10, even with 3 wins, which is very, very difficult against all these mighty fishermen. 3 section wins to give myself, I don't know what that'd give me, 10 points. That wouldn't be too bad, but it's a big ask, is that, because there's some mighty fishermen down here. So the Glebe, I know Darren Axon will be down. If you remember last time, I managed to win a £5 off him at Hallcroft. He's bumped it up from £1 which we had last year. He beat me by £1 last year. I had a decent day at the Glebe, or I thought I did. I came 5th out of 6, but there was only 20 odd pounds between 6th and 1st. It was a close call, and Darren beat me by £1 for £1. So he's bumped it up to a 5, and he must be skint. But I'm a £5 up. In fact, he still owes me it. Because actually my 5 will be shown everybody. He said, I'll give you it when you come down, I have no change. He'll probably want that £5 on again. It's his home venue, home advantage. He's a member down there, he loves it. So, but I will give him his due. Whenever I draw today, he'll do his best to advise me on what he thinks I ought to be fishing. Tactics for the Glebe. I would love the match to just go like this. Top 2 and 2. Long feeder, margins for later. If that works all the way through, catching all day on that, I'm an happy fisherman. But it's going to be very warm today. It could be mugging and shallow. I'm having them on one side. I'm also having a little waggler for just casting to fish, basically. I'll have that set up. So I think you've got to have that in your armoury this time of year. Always have that there, you just never know. Yesterday they weren't interested, but today's a different day, and it's the Glebe. So I'll have those on one side. Really looking forward to it. I right enjoyed myself at Glebe last time. In fact, I've had 2 good days at Glebe. Both have been over £100. I hope I can do that. I think today it could be a 200 to 250 that's going to win the match. I hope I'm not going to draw a peg where they say you're only fishing for your section. It's impossible to win from there, because I'm sick of hearing that. I hope I actually draw a peg where they go, you've half a chance, Alan. That's what I'd like to hear. Just give yourself a chance. I mean, I will say one thing. You are only fishing for a section, really, to get 1 point. But wouldn't it be nice to win a day against all this lot? It would be fabulous, that. And if you do draw a good area, that could be a tough section, because it could be a great lake where it's going to be a close call with a big weight needed from most pegs. So there's 2 scenarios, isn't there? If it's a lake where you've no chance, but it could be close on sections, or whether you go out there and you've got to catch, everybody's going to catch big weights. It's who's used to catching big weights. I mean, the most weight I've ever caught is just shy of £200, 198 I think it was. A lot of these guys catch that most weeks, depending on the venue, obviously. But I am really looking forward to it. I'm waiting for David. We're meeting up to go for some breakfast. He's late again. He slept in an hour up before alarm went off. I'm up with the birds, me. So really looking forward to today's fishing. Start off with a nice breakfast, hopefully have a good draw, and hopefully have a good day. So I'll video the draw if it's possible, and we'll see what we think when we get there. Breakfast time for me. See you soon. The lovely Sarah's back. Nice to see you, Sarah.
And you, Alan.
Andy, you
Hey,
alright?
pal, we alright?
Alan Norrie.
This will be a flyer knowing Alan.
Oh, I hope so.
£25, please, my love.
25.
Oh, yeah. Have you noticed Wally didn't come out? You can tell he's from near Leeds, can't you?
That's one.
Look at that.
Thank you, my love.
Right, there you
Right. Alan Norrie.
Just getting rid of,
Clappy flies.
just getting rid of moths here.
Full 9, 120.
You were absolutely right, Mark, being a flyer.
go. Thank you very much. Right then, folks, I've drawn, as you saw, pool 9, 120. Apparently it's an end peg. Apparently it's a decent place. So I'm going to meet Darren Acton down there. He's going to give me a few pointers. David Wood, where have you drawn?
I'm going home, so I'll see you next week.
What's it? Pool 2, 33, pretties. Not a good area, is it?
Pretty for me, innit?
Well, it's pretty for Dave. What do you reckon? Are you disappointed?
I don't know, I'll give it a go, mate. I don't know it, so people said it's not the greatest, but
Yeah, it's just a section we're at the end of the day,
yeah,
isn't
whatever.
it?
I'm
So
just going to enjoy it, mate.
we're going to do his best and try and be mighty. Oh, and there's the lion little toe rag here, look. Josh Brown, where have you drawn? Josh Derry. Josh Derry.
4 for 8 uglies. Oliver Scott-Horn sections on 63, I think, so
Are you happy with that?
no, mate.
No.
At all.
Oh, well, I hope you have a good day, mate.
you too.
Isn't it time,
Have fun.
isn't it time to beat Oliver Scott-Horn today?
Oh, don't.
Revenge day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good luck, pal. See you. Right, I'm all ready. There's 18 minutes to go. Peg 120 on pool 9. I'll let you have a quick look at the lake. It's only a small lake. There you go, and it goes all the way down here. There's Scott Puddy in the middle somewhere. He's not happy about that because he fished it in the Fishermania, and he said there weren't a lot of fish caught. So wind's blowing into this corner, and as you can see, I've got a end peg. So you've got to fancy it. Darren's given me some advice on it. It's strange plumbing it up because of all these margins here. I've got 10 minutes. I might actually do one for just in front of me, but I'm thinking I've got to be mugging something. I've got to be fishing shallow. I've been told caster can work quite well in here, but then there's conflicting opinions. People say no, just use pellet, you'll be fine. So I'll show you what my plan is. I don't like this margin down here. It's far too shallow, and then it just drops off ridiculous. So I don't like that margin. I've got a margin for down here, which I don't know. I might just try it periodically throughout the day because of where I am. I've plumbed up. I'm just trying to find my mark. I've plumbed up for just down here, but then it just drops off really quick. So I've got a little level bit there, and then there's about the same depth somewhere around here. But I think I've got to be dobbing sort of a bunch of maggots, caster or pellet, dobbing it around, and maybe thank you, blackbird, it's just dropped a right dollop in front of me. I hope it's ground baiting it up for me. So end peg, and then I've clipped up for the corner up there, wind blowing into it on the feeder. I'm hoping I'm not going to have to do much more than that sort of shallow mugging. Fish pellet down in these margins, feeder. I don't really want to do anything else. It can get complicated. I think I'm going to concentrate on that. And there's one or two fish. I don't know if you can see. Well, there's one just swirled here, and I've just seen one coming in here. So I've definitely got to look at getting them on the drop, mugging and shallow. So I'll probably start with no bait to start with, and just have a little mug about, and then work it from there. Probably come at margins down here, and use these margins as if I were just feeding in front of me. Just keep throwing a few pellets around this shorter one. So that's the plan. Let's hope we have a good day. It's probably about the best peg I've drawn in about, must be at least 6 months. When was the last time I drew? Oh, I drew a decent peg at Woodhouse Grange about 3 or 4 months ago. But I've not drawn well. I think I've drawn well here, and if I can put it together, I should do okay. I've got Scott, like I say, Scott Puddy's in. He's a decent. He had a chance of winning UK champ, so he's no mug, but he's not happy where he is. So we'll see anyway. Everything looks right. Let's see if I can make it right. So there we go, over and out. See you when we get going. Right, I've had a small roach and a carp, first couple of put-ins. I just put a single caster on. I'm not putting any bait in yet, apart from a few pellets on my short line. I looked into this and it's been going like crazy. But it's not foul hooked. Either that or it's a nice fish. About 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in. And it's first try with caster I've had. Going some of this. I don't think it's that big, it's just well, it's not bad. Let's see if we can get it up. No, he's darting everywhere, this one. Got him. We're off the mark properly now with a decent fish. Nice, I'm happy with that. Relax the nerves, a bit of pressure on end peg. Been moaning about having crap pegs on her, so come on, try and be mighty today. Right, oh now, I'm really struggling. I've lost about a 3-ounce feeder. I've lost 2 on shallow, caster shallow. And every time I bring a bomb back or a feeder back, it just comes, no matter how far away from the reeds I get, I just get loads of rubbish all over me. Feeder and my line, it's been shocking. I've lost about 6 carp. Just up since I just saw this swimming about and I've just mugged this one. The guy next door's had a few as well. Not prolific, but I'm not sure how Lake's fishing, but I'm finding it really tough. That's another 3 or 4 pounder. It's not easy. Not easy at all. Making a right pig's ear of it as far as a good peg goes, but you can only do your best. I'll have another go at that anyway, so, but yeah, struggling mate. Just hold that in again, no feed, and a little carp. None of the big ones I've seen mooching about. There's another one there. That's just on caster, so I keep dobbing that about and see if we can get a few more. Again, caster shallow. There's not many fish knocking out. I've just seen another one. just keep appearing in like wands. Again, about 3.5 poundish. Let's just hope they keep coming now, because I've really been struggling to get some fish. The feeder was frustrating, like I said earlier, losing the bloody things. It's having such a long hook length, which is the rule here. So let's get back in for another bite at last. Another 3-pounder. Now let's kick the hook out. Let's get that out of there. Right. Right, let's get back in. Another one that's just pulled out just away from a bloody landing net. Decent fish as well. That's about 8 I've lost. I've never lost as many. It's always Glebe I seem to lose a boatload of fish. Oh dear. 20 pounds I've got, and we've got. Let's try and keep this baby on. Took a bit of getting. I've not really been slapping, but I give that one a few slaps. And it just promoted a bite, instant bite. I noticed earlier when I was slapping it didn't seem to be working. I just thought there's nothing, it's just gone quiet, I can't see any more fish. Come on, baby. What does it say? It's coming to the top though. Where do they go? We can get him into. You want to get him a little bit higher. Off they go. Another 4 or 5 pounder. I should have had about another 30 pound in it. Well, the baggers I've lost. Right. Come on, Al. Come on. Keep going, son. Keep going. Oh dear. It'd have been nice if I were catching them from off like this. But you can only do your best. A couple more. We lost 3 more in those reeds on the bomb, which was rather annoying. And Up to about, I think, 30 poundish, something like that. I don't think there's a great deal being caught on the lake. I wanted to go in these reeds as well. Get out. Oh yeah, bagger. Rolled over the bloody net. Bad netting. Get him this time. Got me that time. Oh, and now he's come back to life. Spinning round on all my gear. But there's an hour and a half to go. I've just fed the margins. I really need a visit and not to lose any more fish. I've lost an absolute boatload today, about a dozen I think. I just set off like crazy. And them bloody reeds and snags all over. It is a bit of a snaggy peg this, I must admit. Yeah, it's been frustrating. I've had more bloody hook lengths on. Because once it goes into them reeds, it's knackered is the hook length. But let's bob that on. It's 36 poundish. I've lost two real big ones on the bomb. There we go, nice little update. There's an hour to go. Just hooked into one in the margin, it pulled out. It shot straight into the middle of the lake and just pulled out. This has done the same. Seems very aggressive indeed. Now, see if we can get this one in. Again, the Glebe. Lost loads of fish at the Glebe again. Seems like a decent fish this. Let's hope we can get him in. Not wanting to come in just yet. There's a bit of splashing going off to my left, so I'm assuming that the people have started catching. I've found it hard here, and it's a lovely peg. I'm sure with a little bit more knowledge of the venue I'd do a hell of a lot better than what I've done today. But there's an hour to go. Let's see if we can get some munters. Just not wanting to come in this. Slowly but surely. Off again. I've enjoyed it. It's been a good experience in here. That's what it's all about, gaining experience on these fisheries in these big matches. It's brilliant. Can't beat it. Jamie Wild says I'm still a mighty fisherman no matter what I do here. He's a good lad, is Jamie. Oh, come on, let's have you in, fishy. Let the elastic do the work. Catch him by surprise, hopefully. Now he's off. Hoping he might come to the top then, but he didn't. They're aggressive in here. than that. Oh yeah, bagger. Oh, he's foul up, that's why it's bloody awkward. Bloody hell. Foul hooked going all over the place. And hard work of that one. I thought it was going to be a mighty fish, but it's just bloody foul hooked. Nice bite as well. Another one about £5-ish. Takes me up to 46. Let's hope that we keep getting some in the margins. Let's make this weight look a bit more respectable. Yeah, bloody foul. I thought it was set off like a steam train. I bet the other one will foul up as well, didn't I? Half go. Right, let me go again. Definitely catching to the side of me. He must have gone into his margins. The only thing I've really been able to catch, I've not really caught much on the deck. It's all been cast to shallow. But not prolifically neither. And Johnny said that I've hooked into plenty and lost bloody plenty. Oh, look at that. Bloody thing, it's just pulled out again. Oh, another one foul hooked again. In the bloody scale. Yeah, and it's perfect depth I've got it at as well. Oh, nobody likes to see that. Damn it, change my bloody hook length. Let's hope that this is not foul hooked. See if it'll come in. I've lost so many foul hookers today. Ridiculous. I don't think I've ever had as many foul hookers. Recheck the depth. Everything's bang on, so God knows what's going off. Concentrate because I'm sick of losing bloody fish. Let's get it in. Come on, you little beauty. Come to Nosh. Better fish. Oh, not very pretty though. The mouth's a bit ripped. Looks to me like it's had them. Somebody's been trying to drag it out at bloody reeds. Ah, it's a funny shaped mouth, is that? There. Got it out. And that takes me to about 50-ish, I think. It's a poor display. Never mind. But we've had a nice day. Why am I whispering? Right, 20 minutes to go. Let's get a few more lumps in the net. 3 minutes to go. I've just looked into another one. I've hit £60. But I've lost too many. I must have lost as much as I've got. Should have been a £100 day plus today. Just can't understand why I've lost so many. That's off on a run. It could be foul hooked again. I've lost some. I've never foul hooked as many fish in my life. It's been like every other fish. No matter whether I've been fishing shallow, on deck. Mind you, having said that, I didn't get much on deck at all to start with. I'm hoping this ain't foul hooked. I've lost some in reeds. It's just been, oh God, it's a good job I prepare plenty of hook lengths. Yeah, they fight hard enough, like this guy outside me says, without foul hooking them. They're a bloody nightmare when you foul hook them. Come on fish, stay on. Don't be losing a bloody another one. Other people have definitely been catching, but I've no idea out lakes fishing because I can't see anybody. Don't take this top kit off just yet. Till it calms down a bit. Right, we'll give it a go. See if we can get him to come in. Yeah, it's been a frustrating one today. Fish on! You see, lads, I don't just do it in our club. Let's see if we can get this one in. Just won't come in. A nice fish to finish with. About £6 or so. Oh, right. Well, what can I say about today? Really enjoyed it because I love the competition side of it. I have got to say I'm disappointed with myself. The amount of fish I've lost today has just been incredible. And there's these taking casters, casters floating down all day, and they've just been gobbing them. So obviously I've gone shallow caster. I wasn't going to use caster, but because there's that many come down, I've gone for them, and I've had one or two, but I wouldn't say they've been easy. I started off on an 18 hook with caster, pulled out quite a few, went onto a 16, lost a few in there, pulled out some more, had a go on the feeder. I lost 4 on the feeder, I lost 3 on the bomb, and I've lost 3 or 4 foul hookers in here that have just gone berserk all over, and a couple I've landed have been foul hooked right in fin. So it's been, I think, with the way I fished, I think there was a potential another £40 in the bag. But I'm sure somebody who's fished this before would have probably done a little bit better. I know it can be a 200 odd pound peg on its day, but I don't know how the rest of the lake's fished. Fish mulling about. Great experience, that's what I will say. Right, let me get packed up and we'll get weighed in, we'll see what we've got. I think I've got about 66, so there we go. Don't know how I've done. I'm hoping I ain't done too bad. Right, fish people, all weighed in. It is the day after. It got quite late. We don't finish while 6, but the time we got to me and I got packed away, I wanted to be off. So I've not watched the presentation. An hour and 35 minutes to an hour and 40 to get back. So that's the reason I have. I've not done the conclusion of today's fishing at the end. Right, I've drawn a pool I've never fished before. Because I've only been there 3 or 4 times at the most, and every time I've gone, it's been a different area. I've got there, end peg, wind blowing in. Couldn't see any fish to start with, but then 1 or 2 started turning up. Then a few more turned up, and there were fish mulling about round there. So I fancied it. I actually fancied winning that lake. I thought if I get it right today, I have a right chance of winning this lake, and I really did fancy it. I've got £100 in my head. Thought if I hit £100, from what people were saying about the lake, it's not been fishing quite the same. But I don't know. It's only what people have been saying. There were 1 or 2 moaning saying they wished they'd not even drawn that lake. But anyway, it is what it is. Darren told me work down the margins, feed a chuck. I didn't really bother with the top 2 and 2. He says I won't really bother with that one. It's a right steep drop off and it goes quite deep. Now when I was plumbing the margins up, it was a funny, it didn't half drop off, it dropped right off. But I found like a slight, I wouldn't say dead flat, but it was enough that, you know, a few inches in it as I'm going about. I thought, well, that'll do. I didn't like going in the sort of 10 to 12 inch of water right up to the reeds, because every time I put the plumbing, it were coming up with all dead reeds. So I picked 2 areas and I was quite happy with that, and I thought, well, that'll do. There's one I can feed short, one I can catapult to, and then I had a margin right inside as well, which I thought I'd get some because there were fish mulling about. That was the flattest piece, probably just a top kit out really. It was lovely, and I thought, well, there's fish definitely swimming about there. Just a top kit and half, I would say. So that was like, I'll fill that in a little bit and we'll see if we can get some quick ones there. Feeder chucked the bomb out to the far bank. It kept coming back with a few reeds. I pulled away, I went to the left a little bit more, and then it came back clean. But during the match, I've had an absolute nightmare over there with the feeder. Absolute mare. I lost every fish I hooked. Some come back with scales. I got trashed 2 or 3 times. So I ended up giving the feeder up as a bad job. So I ended up catapulting some pellets out there just before the aerator, and I lost every single fish that I hooked there. Again, straight into the reeds, trashed. And even there, reeling the bomb back, it was coming back full of dead reeds everywhere. I just couldn't seem to get rid of the dead reeds. But at the beginning of the match, with the fish knocking about, I'd got a mugging rig and what I call your carp shallow rig, slapping type rig. Oh, and by the way, even though I didn't, because of the wind coming across, even though I didn't slap very much at all, I've been placing it because I've seen fish and I've been wanting to sort of dob them. I did mention that I'd slapped it over. Well, I'd forgotten, and I've not done it on purpose, I'd forgotten you can't slap there. So if I mention it in there, shout at telly and say you're not supposed to slap there. Well, I didn't. Thankfully the guy said to me, he said, you can't slap, and I thought, no, he's right, you can't slap. And I did it without thinking, because I was just dobbing it about to start with, because I could see fish. So it's not as if I've been there all morning slapping. It was just, I thought, right, I flicked it twice and I hooked into one. And then he said, look, he said, you can't slap. And I went, right, thank you. So apologise for that, folks. Remember, at the Glebe, you cannot slap, but you can fish shallow, but you can't slap it over 2 and 3 and 4 times. It's something I wasn't doing all day. I just did it when, I think I did it a couple of times and he's picked up on it straight away. But that my fault for not remembering, basically, because I did know, but I just completely forgot. It just comes as a natural thing to do without even thinking. So there we go. Get that one out of the way, and make sure if you people visit the Glebe, you don't do it, because you can get a telling off. So anyway, So right at the beginning of the match, I have dobbed it about and I've struggled. I've had, I think I had a couple of small ones, a roach, and then loads of casters started coming down. There were casters, floating sweet corn, and then some carp really did come up and start gobbing. They were just, you could see them gobbing all the way down there, taking these floating casters. A bit frustrating that. So I wasn't planning on fishing caster. So I ended up opening casters and I started fishing caster. And I got 1 or 2. But not prolifically. And after about an hour and 15. Oh, get on tight. Excuse me. After about an hour and 15 or so, I think I'd only got a carp and 2 or 3 little stockies. I was really struggling. That's when I went out on feeder. Had an absolute nightmare with feeder, with rubbish and everything. Lost every fish I got. Every one seemed to be foul hooks. They just went crazy. Absolutely. They fight hard enough without that. And basically, I've tried the short line again with pellets. I couldn't get a bite on the deck there to start with. So I've just ended up mugging the shallow rig about, and I've caught most of the fish that way. But they weren't coming enough. I mean, I think at one point I mentioned I'd lost about 12 fish. It's cost me dearly that. I think I hooked into about 8 or 10 fish right at the end in the last hour, and I think I lost half of them. And 3 of the other 5 that I landed were foul hooked. You know, and Scott Puddy says, well, why do you think that is? And when I've thought about it, because of the slight ledge, I mean, just after the slight ledge, it dropped right off. So I'd only got a small area to sort of land my bait on. So I thought, right, I'll spread the bulk shot a little bit. And I just had it sort of, in theory, I was hoping it'd just lean against the slight slope. And what I think has probably been happening is they go like that with the fins. And it's been catching them under there. And I think they've caught the shot. Because I normally fish a bulk shot when I'm margin fishing. And I think the hook's got there and then they've shot off. And I think that's what were happening, and I should have probably changed that once I'd foul hooked and lost a few. I think you saw one that I'd lost, but I lost another 4 or 5 in margins in last hour, which by this time my brain were about smashed. I should have won the lake. I think I've lost the same amount as what I had in net, and I ended up coming in with 60 pounds dead. And I think I should have had 120 with the amount of fish that I've hooked. The guy to my left, he says you must have over 100 pounds, won't you? He saw everything I hooked, but he didn't see how many I lost. And it's cost me massively. I feel very semi-skimmed. I felt really disappointed at the end of the match. I knew I'd just blown it. I'd blown it at what I thought were a good peg, and I think it is a decent peg there. The lake's not fished prolifically at all, but that would have won me the match. As it's turned out, let's have a look what result. My phone's beeping like hell. As it's turned out, the guy to my left's caught well in the margin at the end. Jamie Collis, is it Collison or Coulson? I can't read his writing. And he's coming with 114 pounds. So well done, Jamie. What a mighty fisherman you are. Nice to meet you today as well, by the way. You did well there, because that wind, we had a crosswind as well blowing like crazy. I couldn't get into the reeds like I wanted to because my rig was just blowing up too much. It was hard work. I even let it drift in a little bit, and I never had a bite next to the reeds, just dobbing it about with caster or a little pellet. In fact, I never had a bite shallot on pellet at all. I changed to a red pellet, a 4mm pellet. I tried an 8mm pellet, and I never had a bite on pellet. Everything was caster, and I think that's because of the amount of casters that were blowing into the bank. I think either that or I've made a pig's ear of it. And I've ended up coming 4th in section. Scott Puddy beat me by 2 ounce. He had 60 pound. Yes, it's better than last year. I had my chance there. I think I should have won that lake from there. But anyway, not to worry. No point beating myself up. It's all experience for next time. I certainly don't think I'll be firing a feeder into that corner next time I go there. I think into open water a bit more, bomb and pellet in a clearer spot is the way to go. Certainly short to the right with pellets, and then obviously you've got to flick a mugging rig about there It's impossible not to. So that's it. I think I made a pig's ear of that peg. 4th in section. Still doing better than last year, but feel a bit disappointed I didn't win the lake. So it's on to the next one for me. Big learning curve. That's what it's all about, folks. Don't beat yourselves up. It's all about learning. It's my first real year into fishing with all these guys on these lakes that I've never fished before, really. But it's a great experience. It's all in there for next time. So I'm sure I'll have a decent day. So I hope you've enjoyed the insights to my second round of the UK Champs. I think Dave Woods had a bit of a disaster as well. He struggled on that lake. He didn't like it anyway. So unlucky Dave. And it's Decoy Lakes next. I've heard some reports that there's quite a few dead fish knocking about. I don't know if this is weather or what, but there's something not quite right at the minute down there. So Decoy Lake sounds like it might be a bit difficult, but it'll be the same for everybody. So hope you've enjoyed the insights of my second round of the UK Champs. Let's see if we can do better next time. There's Decoy and Barson to come. So don't forget, folks, if you do like my videos, click the subscribe button if you already haven't. If you click the notification bell, you will get all our videos as we upload them. So take care, thanks for watching, and we'll see you pretty soon. Oh, thumbs up would be very, very nice.